What's up, you guys? We are back with another episode of Who Even Asked. As always, I'm Tay.
And I'm Jazz.
And for those of you who are watching on YouTube right now, you can see that we have a little guest today.
We do. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Shawnee.
Yep. Shawnee is my little sister.
And Jazz's cousin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're all family here. Mm-hmm. And so we thought we'd do like a little sibling episode for you guys. We have other siblings. I have a brother, and they have two more sisters. Mm-hmm. My brother would never want to do this, so there's no point in even asking him.
It was hilarious at Thanksgiving when he said he hadn't watched any of them.
Yeah, he's not a supporter of us. I mean, he supports in spirit, but he doesn't watch any of our stuff, so that's nice.
Fake
fan.
Very much a hater.
But yeah, so eventually I think we want to have each person on here. But we only have 3 mics right now, so one person at a time.
Bear with
us. Doing it. Bear with us. You wanted to discuss some, I guess we're going to kind of just go into some sibling stuff, sibling stories.
Yeah, some sibling stories. What would you say has been, obviously siblings fight, so what would you say has been our biggest sibling fight? Or what is one that like really sticks out to you?
It's going to be the one you always bring up.
I do always bring this up.
She likes to never tell the full story though.
No, there's just 2 sides to the story. We're not beefing.
No, we're not beefing
civil
about it anymore, but we're going to tell my full side of the story.
Okay, well, you're going to go ahead and give your side first, and then I'll go off that.
So I had just had shoulder surgery, and Taylor...
Oh, she's got to pull the fucking pity card.
It's reality, okay? So I just had surgery, and Taylor was taking this photography class, and I think in it was like you had to make the person look like they were floating or something. And the only stool we had in our house was one for my desk that rotated, and she took us out in the middle of nowhere to take these pictures. Well, she wanted me to stand on this rotating stool, and I didn't want to get on this stool because I didn't want to fall off and hurt myself. And she got so mad and started cussing at me and told me that she would leave me on the side of the road if I didn't do what she wanted. And then I called my mom because she does drive off. So I'm thinking she's really leaving me there because mind you, we did not get along like we do now, like at the time. So I thought you were leaving me. I call our mom. She throws it in reverse and speeds backwards over to me because she sees I'm on the phone. And starts screaming at me to get in the car. Eventually I get in the car, but I'm still talking to our mom. And whatever I said to our mom, I don't even remember now. She got mad and she went over to try to snatch my phone, but I thought she was trying to hit me in the face. She hit me in the face, busted my lip open. It started bleeding down my face. So I turned over and I kicked her in the head while she was driving.
Damn.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here and give what actually happened. You were not bleeding down your face. That is a little
from
dramatic.
My lip.
Anywho. Okay, so yes, the picture thing did happen. I'm truly offended that you think I would genuinely leave you out in the middle of nowhere. Also, side note to that, this is not the only time where I've like locked her out of the car, and her immediate response was always to call our mom to be a little tattletale.
Okay.
Anywho, that's a different story.
I have another good one
day.
that includes Bergen and Baylor.
Different story for a different day. Anywho, so that part was true. So I back up. I get her. I don't know what was going on. This was a decade ago at this point. This was like a whole 10 years ago. But I get her, and she gets in the car, and then you tried to call our mom again. And our mom was a single parent, and she was calling her while she was at work. And my mom would get livid about that. Like, do not call her at work. And you were the worst about that. You would always call her while she was at work.
Probably because you were beating her up.
Shut the fuck up, Jasmine. No.
Yeah, see, someone gets it.
No,
someone
you're the older
it.
sibling, so you should, like, get it. So why you're being fake right now?
You were always trying to whoop my ass, though.
But you did get your ass whooped.
Sometimes you were just being crazy.
Anywho, back to my story before these two started ganging up on me. She tries calling her mom at work. I never was trying to hit her in the face. I was simply trying to grab the phone from her. So we did. Hey, I let you have your moment. Let me finish my story. Okay. So I was trying to grab the phone because You very much, like, anytime we had a fight or like something went wrong, your immediate response was always to call our mom. That was not my response. I am very much I'm going to try my absolute best to fix it before I tell on myself and get myself in trouble.
Like a true older sibling.
Exactly. Like, I got this. I got to handle it.
See, I would just throw myself under the bus. I didn't even care.
You would, and you still will to this day. Anywho,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't like that, and so I tried to grab the phone, and I accidentally hit you in the face. I was never trying to abuse you like that.
To be
I
fair, I, did
accidentally gave
validate
you
that.
bloody nose.
I still don't remember blood, but maybe I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it was a moment of rage, so I don't remember that whatsoever.
I did at least validate you. I said you may not have meant to hit me in the face, but you did. And I
Okay.
thought you did.
But that did happen. And so her immediate response, little 14-year-old self, while I'm going 70 miles an hour in the car, keep in mind, she gets her leg and just kicks me in the head while I'm driving. I don't remember
That is crazy.
what happened after that, but I'm still...
I really don't remember the aftermath of that. I think
either.
I just know you were really mad.
Yeah. I mean, you kicked me in the head.
Oh, I think you ended up calling mom after that because you were so mad about
Rightfully
it.
so.
Oh, but you leaving me on the side of the road's okay.
I think
Why would you think I would actually leave
You did not like me at that time.
But I love you, and I've always taken care of you.
next on Dr. Phil.
Anywho, yeah, I would agree with you hands down. That was our craziest sibling fight.
There's a lot of funny ones, though.
But that was probably the biggest. Jazz, do you have any with Brennan that just really stand out to you?
Yeah, so let me start with saying that I was 7 years old when I was told Brennan was going to be born. So we're 7 years apart. I still remember when they told me Brennan was coming into this world. They picked me up and they were like, hey, we got a surprise from you. You want to guess? And I said, a bike? A toy? They're like, a brother. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So needless to say, we were not very close growing up. One time we were at my cousin's house and I freaking, he pissed me off. We were in the pool and you know the pool cleaner?
Yeah.
Well, it was detached from the thing.
Yeah.
And he pissed me off so bad, I just threw it at him and literally gave him a gash in his head.
That's the
I
worst.
felt so bad. Not then, but now I do.
That's the worst, though, when, like, you're just doing, like, your normal sibling fighting, and then, like, something goes wrong, and it's like, what shit? Now I'm gonna get in trouble.
And I was like, no, you're fine.
You'll be okay. Don't tell mom, I'll clean your room.
I don't even remember if I got in trouble for that, but yeah, I feel bad. Like, I have such older sibling guilt now because we are closer. But yeah, I was mean to Brennan.
Oh, you have... I don't have guilt. I mean, there's probably a few things I feel a little guilty about, but for the most part, I don't feel guilt. But you have to admit, like, you're a lot better now, but younger you was mean. You were violent.
Only for like a small period, though. You were like mean to me even as a little kid.
Okay, another thing I'm going to bring up. Do you not remember all the times you tried to kill me? Need I remind you of the fireplace poker story?
I was like 2.
Okay, but don't
Fireplace
say
poker?
I was older. Like, you were little.
You sound like
Okay,
American
yeah.
Horror Story episodes.
I was swinging around the fireplace poker like for the logs, and I almost hit Taylor in the head. I didn't even actually hit you.
No, you tried to hit me with it.
No, I remember those plastic.
You were
golf
2.
clubs.
How would you remember?
No, I'll admit what I did try to hit you. You remember when we were at our aunt's and you were standing on the end of the bed and I had one of those plastic golf clubs and I came up and rocked you in the face with it?
Yeah, I do remember that. Or the time I was on the trampoline and you straight just yeeted me off of it. Mm-hmm. Anywho, yeah, we were very violent growing up.
You were
Sounds like
equally
it.
violent.
I said
though.
we.
Okay.
Anywho,
Y'all are crazy.
we love each other now. We get along good now.
That's all that matters.
But yeah, growing up, we were definitely very mean to each other.
I think that happens.
Yeah. I think nobody can piss you off like your sibling.
Yeah.
Only like when you live together, like when you're in the same house. Like the second you moved off, we were fine.
Yeah.
Shoot. When I lived with Brennan, still like when I moved back in, like 2 years ago, with them, we would fight, and my mom would be like, "You're 30 years old. Why are you fighting?" And I'd be like, "I don't give a fuck. Nobody gets under your skin." Like, your little brother or your siblings, just like y'all said, because like that boy would irritate the fuck out of me. I love him to death. Would beat somebody for him, but god dang, if he pisses me off, he pisses me off.
And it just like enrages you like nobody else. Like I can't, there's nobody in this world that has enraged me like you have.
Our mom has enraged me that way before. I love her, but
Mom, I did not say that.
mainly you. Yeah, you just have a special way of pissing me off.
Right back at you, pal.
Right under the skin, huh?
Right under the skin. Okay, well, we weren't always that bad, though. I mean,
what are some happy times? Let's counteract with a happy time.
Let's get a little lighter here.
I would say like one of my favorite memories was when we were in high school, because we actually got along pretty decent by the time we were both in high school and we'd moved and everything.
Decent.
And I would go in your room and ask you to make me noodles and stuff, and you would get up no matter how late it was to cook for me, and you'd sit with me while I ate it.
What's y'all's age difference?
2 years.
2 years.
Wow.
2 weeks. 2 days.
That must be nice to have a
Something like
sibling
that.
close in age.
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely has pros and cons. I think the fighting, I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a sibling that's a bigger age gap than that, but I'd say the fighting, I feel like, is more than maybe an age
I feel
gap.
like that's a girl thing too, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, also, like, you're bad about stealing each other's stuff when you're both girls.
No. You were bad about
You would
stealing
take
my
my stuff too.
I was a lot bigger than you, so I could not fit
But
into your stuff.
that doesn't just include clothes. You would still take my stuff.
Like what?
You stole a whole box of tampons from me.
Why would you say that on here?
I feel like tampons are communal, though.
I mean, yeah.
It's communal until you take the whole box. And I think I have some sort of medical issue because I'm wondering where they all went.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I do owe you a box of tampons, I suppose.
It's cool. Like, you could have asked me to take them. But you just stole them.
Not one. The whole box.
The whole box. I think she left like 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
I would say I enjoyed when we were getting along and we'd have our little sleepovers in each other's rooms.
Yeah, that was
always
fun. We would always go get food, and sometimes you'd get mad at me because I'd want you to sleep in my room and you didn't want to.
Or once, like, I could drive and we just would go, like, get Starbucks and we'd go drive around and listen to music. That was always fun. What about you and Brennan and Jazz?
We really didn't have like a lot of sweet moments till we got older.
I think that's just universal.
I can't really think of any when we were younger, just because we were so far in age. Mm-hmm. So until he got older, I don't know. We just go out and we'll go to bars. We'll go to like go to eat, and like he'll go with me to like Target and stuff. I don't know. Like we're definitely a lot sweeter now. But I don't have anything. Damn, that's kind of. I don't even know, man. That's like a
kind of sad when you put it that way. I bet it is different with like being a sister-brother relationship than being a sister.
Well, that and your age gap, too.
Yeah.
But also, too, like, I feel like the fact that I'm, like, very much, like, a butchier lesbian, we kind of, like... I did steal his clothes. I'd steal his clothes. I would, like, right before I came out, I would go steal his... Like, he'd have all the diamond clothes and stuff. And, like, I'd go, like... steal his clothes and like put them on and take pictures in the restroom.
Just a snapback.
Yeah. Me stealing my 7-year younger brother's clothes.
It's so funny though when you take a picture and something you stole of your siblings and they get fucked up about it. They're just like throwing fit.
Burden doesn't really care though. Like that's the one thing I do. Like he only gets pissed off sometimes. Like because I do feel bad because he talks to me about like how mean to him I was when he was little. And then, like, I think the older I got, in general, I think I just become more of an empath. So, like, now, sometimes I'm thinking about it, and I'll be like, I'll try to make up for it now, like, be super sweet. So, like, I'll send him, like, if I have money, I'll send him money, or, like, I'll buy him, things here and there. But he was never really mean or anything to me, except when he was younger, he did have, like, a temper. Like, I was like, he's gonna kill us. Like, he's gonna...
Ooh,
No, I'm just kidding.
Cujo's coming out.
Yeah. But no, I love him. He's a cool dude.
You know, when you were talking about that, it did make me think of another one of my favorite Shawnee stories. When you said you'd send him money. So this was, I was in my 20s. You were probably, what, 20? So it was probably like 22,
Probably like
something like
19.
that. Yeah, maybe something like, anyway, a few years
Because
ago.
it was like right when COVID happened.
Yeah.
So I would have been like 19, I think.
Yeah, this was like the beginning of COVID. And you were living on your own at this point, correct?
Oh yeah, I moved out 10 days after I turned 18.
Yeah, you were in your own apartment or whatever. And you had texted me and you're like, I'm so broke. Like, I can't afford to feed myself. Like, I'm down bad. And she didn't even ask me for money. But I was just like, okay, I take pity on you, my little sweet potato. And I sent her, what, like $50? Nothing crazy. And I was like, here you go. And she's like, thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you're welcome, Toots. Well, then, what was it? The same day or the next day?
Probably the next day.
Probably the next day. You Snapchat me. And it is a video of chickens in a chicken coop. I don't remember.
I didn't have my coop yet.
Okay, no coop yet, but
No.
she had chickens.
I had just acquired the chickens.
And I'm
To
like,
be fair, they were cheap. That was not the whole $50.
but I was just like, this bitch can't afford to feed herself, and she just went and bought fucking chickens.
I was fixing to feed myself in the long term.
Well, you didn't end up feeding yourself.
No, because the dog
The
killed them.
coyote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chickens did
Anyway,
die.
moral of the story: I got 4 chickens out of the money that she gave me.
That is so funny. That's such yeah. I'll give Brennan money and he'll say it's like for games or something. And then he'll go buy beer. So, but to be fair, I'm actually really proud. I will say a proud sister moment right now that he has stuck to dry January. He has
Good
not
for you, Brennan.
drank
Good for Brennan.
since we started. I did have drinks this weekend at the casino. But he is sticking strong, and he was like, he's like really wanting to make changes this year, and he's just doing a lot, and I'm really proud of him. So
We're proud of you,
Good
Brennan.
job, Brennan.
Love that for you.
way to go, Brennan. But yeah, I had some questions, like some sibling questions for y'all.
Let's hear them.
Since you're the present sibling,
You're in the hot seat.
yeah, let's see here. Okay, so I did want to ask some questions to you guys, like I said, because you're here.
Okay.
It's who's most likely to.
Okay, let's hear
Okay,
it.
so the first one is who's most likely to hold a grudge. Okay, let's say it so that way the people listening.
Right. Me, Tay, definitely. I am a grudge holder. Anybody who knows me
Easily
knows.
Taylor.
I will take that to the grave.
You could have hurt her feelings as a toddler, and she would still be fucked up about it.
I still have
today.
beef with you hoes from kindergarten, and I ain't forget.
That is so funny. I can see that. Some of these I was like writing them down and like I already knew the answers, like of which of y'all would be. I'm like, okay, I know. Who's most likely to accidentally break the other's stuff?
You think me? I think that could be 50-50. I'll take it, whatever.
I just remember the story you
Eh?
said about the Twilight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I still have never forgot that you broke my
Okay.
limited edition
Fair.
Twilight hairdryer.
Not the limited edition Twilight hairdryer.
I'm so sorry about your limited edition Twilight hairdryer. To be fair, I genuinely didn't think it was going to break it. I think I saw it on YouTube or something that the people would pour flour in there and it would blow it all over your hair. And that was just going to be hilarious to me. I didn't know it was going to ruin your hairdryer.
I'm still mad, but
I'm
anyway,
sorry.
thank you. I appreciate
That was a
your
crime.
apology.
I'm just sorry. I did not mean to
That
break
could be
your
worth
hairdryer.
millions now if you
Oh,
hadn't
okay.
ruined it.
I wonder how much that
Let's
is on
dial it back
eBay.
a little bit.
You know, Twilight's
That's
a big
what you
thing.
need to look up. You need to look up and see how much that hairdryer was worth.
We'll circle back.
you know what?
If I find it, I'll put it in here.
When you get married, I'll just gift you a Twilight hairdryer.
That'd be so funny.
I would
That'd be
appreciate
perfect gift. Who's most likely to come up with a weird life hack that actually works?
I think me on that one.
Yeah, we could say you. I was going to say 50-50 on that one, but I could see that.
Because I feel like I always have weird hacks that I'm sharing.
Yeah, I love a good hack.
Who's most likely to win a reality TV show?
I feel like
Like,
me.
what kind of reality TV show?
I don't know, man. Just let's go with I'll give you. Okay, who do you think is most likely to win like a Jeopardy type show?
I think me on that. Because when we played the trivia game the other day, I was whooping y'all's ass in that.
I still feel like I could win that.
Okay, we'll just say Taylor.
What about like a Survivor type show?
I think you.
Me?
Because I think you could play the mind games better than I could.
Yeah, probably.
Very manipulative. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Really
No, but
throwing
I
her under
do
the
think
bus there.
you could like play the people better. Like I think you'd be good at that. Not in a bad way. Like I genuinely think you could kick ass in Survivor.
Oh, okay.
It's a compliment.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Okay. That's how I meant it.
Who's most likely to cancel plans at the last minute?
I think anybody knows I would do that.
Yeah, I wrote it down and I almost didn't even put that one down because I was like, oh, that's. But then I was like, okay, people listening probably don't know that. So
Taylor's a little hermit.
I love my little hermit lifestyle.
Who's most likely to accidentally spill a family secret?
Me.
Yeah. I was going to say our family, so we're all like females besides like the significant others. And we all just be shit talking each other, if we're being honest.
Just gossiping, like telling each other's business. Like it doesn't even matter who it is. Like everybody does it.
Like we were born to be gossips because everybody in this family gossips. And then one person will be like, don't tell anybody else, but like we're going to tell somebody else. And then so we all just know things about each other that we shouldn't know. It can be a little complicated.
So they can't be trusted with secrets. Let's keep
We
that in
keep
mind.
it in
No.
the family, but it's just about like
Not to say
each
that
other.
either. Like if it's something that's actually worth keeping a secret about, I will keep a secret about it.
Yes.
But if it's just like something stupid that's like, don't tell anybody, but it's like most insignificant thing ever,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about it probably.
And I think same thing. Like we can keep the important stuff to ourselves.
Who's most likely to forget a family member's birthday?
Taylor, me.
Me. Who's most likely to break something and blame it on the other?
That's very equal. But yeah.
I was like, I definitely have done that to you before.
Yeah, I've done it to you too. Well, not even blame it on you, but I would break something and then I would try to like barely fix it back together enough to where you thought you broke it.
So you're a gaslighter.
I never said you broke it. I just
There
would
she goes,
give you.
gaslighting.
Very gaslighty of you.
Y'all are really telling today. Everything's coming out.
Everyone's gonna think we're evil.
Yeah, literally.
That is funny.
I'm only evil to you. Not even anymore.
Yeah. I was like, I'm learning a new side of you guys today. I've never seen before, and I'm a little scared. No, I'm just kidding.
You should be.
Funny.
No, I'm just kidding.
If I don't come out after this episode, you know why.
If the episode doesn't come out, you know why.
Nobody sees it. That is so funny. That was all my questions. I thought that was gonna last a lot longer, but like, I guess I wrote down like 6 or 7 questions.
We were pretty upfront.
Yeah.
We just automatically knew.
Speed round. Okay, let's talk about favorites. No, I'm just kidding. Mine is Brennan.
You can play that game.
Yeah,
We can get into that
Can you
game.
imagine? I don't know, but to be honest, like, I don't know. I couldn't picture myself having a sister. Like, you know how people are like, oh, like, I wish I had a sister, or like, I just don't know. If I could get I don't know how that dynamic would work. You know what I mean?
Like growing up though, did you ever want like a sister or another brother? Like,
Growing
or were
up.
you just content? Or did you? I mean, you didn't find out you were going to be a big sibling until you were 7. Did you?
So you didn't
want
even
to be an
want
only
Brennan.
child? Where?
I didn't know siblings were a thing until Brennan. Yeah, like to be honest, I was like spoiled, you know, the only girl at first on my dad's side of the family, only grandchild to my grandparents, getting spoiled, staying with my grandma every Friday, going to the movies, getting toys. Then
You're
Brennan
living a
came
great
along.
life.
And I had to split everything.
See, and I don't remember what it was like to not have a sibling, so this is just very normal for me.
Yeah, but y'all's like sibling, which is really crazy, because y'all were like, because like you and Baylor were kind of like age wise, right? Close.
She's younger than me by like
Really?
a year and a half.
But yeah, and then you and Bergen were kind of
2 weeks.
Yeah,
or
me and
something.
Bergen are like 2 weeks apart.
Oh yeah.
We're very close in age.
But so I always thought that was interesting, like how close in age y'all all were.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that also would maybe be like a little harder because you're all so close in age.
I think I mean, not now, obviously, that we're adults, but I think when our parents first got together, it was just because I mean, we were kind of older. We were teenagers pretty much already once they started dating. So we were already kind of like stuck in our ways and like used to our little lifestyles, I would say. So I think it was a little challenging at times at first, but not now that we're adults, I wouldn't say.
No, but I think just like girls in general are just like assholes at that age. Like
Evil.
all of them.
All of us, yes.
All of them. It doesn't matter like who you are. You are probably evil at some point at that age.
I'm scared of teenage girls.
Yes. To
I
this
was
day, I'm
definitely
still
evil.
afraid of them.
Yeah.
They scared the living shit out of me.
Like, if I ever have kids, I don't know what I'd do during that stage. Because it's crazy.
So, if you got to pick perfect world, what kind of, do you want boys, girls? How many kids do you want? Like, if you got to picture that part of your life, what would you want?
Probably boys.
Okay.
But I think it's mostly because, like, okay, I'd probably do a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Like, equal. Because, like, I'm really, like, wanting, like, sports, but I also wouldn't mind, like, having, like, and this is, like, either one of them could do sports or either one of them could do, like, some sort of other thing, but I just think it'd be cool. Definitely 2 kids, and a boy and a girl.
Love that.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think I want girls. I think I give girl mom energy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shawnee? Shawnee doesn't want kids, for everybody listening.
I don't know that I want kids, so...
She doesn't want to let me be an aunt, which is truly tragic.
But you're also really young still, like, not that you have to change your mind or that you
I
would.
could, though.
You
Like,
could,
it's
yeah.
not that I, like, I can't change my mind. As of right now, though, I just still don't want kids.
Yeah.
Which, like, the logical part of me loves that for you, and I love that you're so, like, grounded in that decision, but, like, selfishly, I feel like I deserve to be an aunt.
She feels that she's being scammed.
I feel like I would be a fantastic aunt, and I feel like you're depriving that of me. And Jacob's nieces and nephews are all adults, so I really got gypped.
Dang.
So now, Jasmine, I'm expecting you to have children so I can be their aunt.
I want to be an aunt too. Okay, I need Brennan to have children so I can be an aunt.
Come on, Brennan, get on that.
Realistically, you would think that you would have the kids first. I need the trial run.
I mean, I guess I am the
older
closest
one,
to
right?
that point.
Yeah, you're fixing to get married. You're older than me.
Marriage.
I need the trial run. Like, I want to just be the aunt first, and then we'll decide on the rest.
Yeah, I've heard, like, I think a lot of times, like, being an aunt will do one of 2 things: either make you want kids or make you not want kids.
Yes, like, I need that as my deciding factor. Like, that will tell me if that's really a commitment I want to make.
But, okay, this brings up a point I want to bring up. I don't even know. It's a grievance almost. I just want to bring up. It sucks being the oldest child and not having an older sibling. Like, if you had, like, questions you didn't feel comfortable asking a mom for, or,
Google.
like, you need... You didn't ever feel that way, though? Like, do you ever feel like it sucked to not have, like, an older sibling? I did.
Not really.
Oh,
I
guess it's just me.
I went to Google a lot, but I'm also, like, one thing I've realized about myself as a person now that I'm getting older and, like, I've been alone for a little while is that, like, in some ways, like, for everything else, I'm very self-sufficient. Like, in the fact that, like, I don't feel comfortable, like, going to other people for things.
I get that.
And it's not anything to do with other people. It's just, like, a me thing. The only thing that, like, I'd rely on other people for is, like, emotionally, if that makes sense. Like, I'm emotionally attached to people.
Yeah.
But, like, for everything else, I feel like I'm very much, like, standoffish. So.
Just, like, hyper independent almost, or, like...
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, I definitely do have some of that, and I'm cool with that, and, like, I like that about myself to an extent, but I do think there were times growing up where I was upset that I didn't have that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think that would have been cool. I don't know.
I could see that.
In some ways, it's, like, nice to be the younger sibling because you already go through all of it, so I could just ask you questions. Like,
Exactly.
you already did it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm saying, like, you had, like, a built-in person to ask questions to, and I just kind of had to, like, figure it out on my own.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. But I've always been a person too, like, even my parents ask me questions. Like my brother asks me questions. Like, I've always been the one to do things, if that makes sense. Like, so I kind of feel like I don't know. Like, I've always just been that person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It makes me like sad for you. Like,
well, I mean, my parents, of course, they do adult stuff.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like specifically, I guess I'm more talking about with my brother. So like when it comes to college or when it comes to like just like entering adulthood stuff, because I feel like my parents definitely had a very different upbringing, of course, than I did, because they were parents at 19 and I'm still not a parent, you know? Mm-hmm. So I went through the more traditional, I guess, growing up, which I think we all have, compared to most of our parents. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's just a lot of life experiences that I've had that relate more to Brennan and then my parents have had.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's easier to relate to your sibling too, because there's such a large age gap between you and your parents that how their experience was when they first started doing things is not even close to how it would be when you're starting to do your own things.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I completely agree.
Yep. So I guess that's more what I meant. Not that I like had to do everything or anything like that. Just, I mean, like when it comes to Brennan.
You had, when you were saying that, it brought up a question that I have thought of before. And this kind of hit me recently. I think like once I hit 25, but since you had young parents too, I think you might be able to relate to this. Have you ever thought, like, I remember my mom being my age, and that just, like, was crazy for me. Like, when I first thought about that, I was like, and our lives were so different. Yeah. But it seemed like maybe since she became a parent so young, it felt like she had her life more together than I did at my age. And that was weird for me.
Imagine, okay, so I feel that. Especially now, like in a month, I'm going to be 32. That's old. Like, it's not in reality, but it feels old because I remember my parents being that age.
Right.
And like you said, they just had more stuff together than I do. And they had families and stuff. And so, like, it kind of does make you feel, or at least me, that, like, I'm late.
Right.
But if you think about it this way, technically, this should be the track. Like, I mean, it's fine to have kids and be married and stuff when you're younger, but like that was such an old school thing of like having to be married so young and, you know, having to do all this stuff so young that like you can do that when you're older and it's just not normalized, I guess, because of the way things used to be.
Right. No, that definitely is like, I think, a different generational thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Not, you just kind of watched your parents grow up too, like with you, but like you don't really think about it until you're older and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom had 2 kids by now. Girl,
yeah.
What were you doing?
Like I'm already older, like a year older than she was when she already had both of us.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy though. But like I remember being in kindergarten and my mom was like my age, and that was just, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that, and y'all will have to let us know if y'all ever thought about that before too. But that was wild to me.
As kids, like individually, like, okay, so let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So one time I was in elementary school and I had this Hello Kitty wallet. Well, I had gotten or found like a Swiss Army knife sort of, but it was like the tiny little, you know, the ones that are like this big.
Yeah.
I took it to school and I was showing, and this little rat named Russell told the principal that I had a knife.
Grudges too.
She got beef with Russell still.
He smelled. His lunch was always weird.
Wait, what was his lunch?
Oh, I don't even remember. I just remember him sitting by me at lunch, and that's when like I pulled out the pocket knife. Okay. And it was literally like this small. Okay, I wasn't about to go on a rampage in school. Okay, like I wasn't going all. Yeah. Anyways, but I don't even know why my dumbass said this, but I go to the principal's office and I'm like, oh, this is, and I threw my dad under the bus, and this was not even a true story. Keep in mind, it was a Hello Kitty wallet. I said, my dad used my wallet and he must have left it in there. And I don't know if he
did
just
buy what you were selling.
Yes. I did not get in trouble, so I don't know if he just like,
maybe he just thought it was so funny that he just let it go.
But how, like,
because
I just could not believe, like, looking back, how good of a liar I was at that age. I was like, damn, I came up with that on the spot. Like,
Vince used your Hello Kitty wallet.
You
Oh
sound
my
like one of
God.
those people on Cops or on patrol, and they're like, I don't know how these drugs got in my car. They were mine.
somebody must have thrown them in there.
This ain't even my car. It's my mama's car.
This is totally off subject, but did y'all ever see the one where the guy was trying to tell the cops that he had medical meth? His doctor gave him a prescription to smoke meth.
No, I did not see
Oh
that.
my god.
Is that like a thing
killed
though? Like,
me.
is medical
No,
meth a real thing?
No.
It's called.
They joke
Adderall.
about that. They say like Adderall is medical meth because it's like a compound away.
That is so funny.
But I thought that was hilarious. Sorry, that was way off subject.
No, but when you were telling that story, that made me think of Shawnee, a story from when Shawnee was little, and we used to have. I think this is what it was, but we had these little folders that would go home on Tuesdays, and you would have to have your parents go through all the papers, and it would have like your grades and stuff like that, and then your parents had to sign it to make sure they looked at it, you know, whatever. And I think you're in kindergarten or something like
Yeah,
that.
so I know what you're talking about, but it was actually because my kindergarten teacher, she did these little bitty square books. And she would have your parents read them with you every night and sign them to make sure that you were reading them.
Okay.
And I read it with Mom, but she didn't sign it. Well, I wanted my prize because she let us pick out of the box.
Where's my treat?
Yeah, where's my treat? So I wanted my prize, but you had to have the signature. And so I just decided to write Mom Harris in the book.
Mom.
And you did not get in trouble because it was
No,
so funny.
she thought my kindergarten teacher was like, "Don't you dare get onto her for this," but I had to tell you because it was hilarious. And then I guess Mom told her like, "Oh, we did actually read the book."
I did actually beat her ass. I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That is so funny.
That is funny.
Mom Harris.
I knew her name was Linnell, but I didn't know how to spell it.
Wait, so sorry, backtracking to what you had said earlier, I'm still confused on your question. You told us the story, but
Like,
I was
what
still
kind of
confused.
kid
Yeah,
you
like
were?
what kind of kids you were.
Well, like at school or at home.
God, okay, so I guess both. Like, I was actually a very good kid at school. I got in trouble a couple times.
Oh, I was an
And at home,
excellent
though.
kid at school. Never got in trouble even once.
I think we both were pretty good at school.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't really get in trouble.
I'd get teen of the month or student of the month like every year. Like I was excellent at school.
Outside of school, though, you were awful.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think. What would you...
You?
Yeah.
You were a hermit even when you were young.
A hermit is a lifestyle, y'all.
She really liked to be by herself. She would like to watch her show. Taylor was just like an old woman. Like she liked to
I could see that.
She liked to watch her reality TV all and like just chill and eat her
I
snacks.
came out the womb loving reality TV.
She has always loved reality TV. Like I remember I'd be like 5 and she'd be like, or 6 or something. Like I might have been 6 and you might have been like 8. You would be watching those wedding TV shows and stuff and forcing me to watch them. I'm like, Christ, can we watch something else?
Can we put on Barney, please? Like,
Let's put on some SpongeBob in this piece. Like this is enough.
Yeah.
So Taylor was just kind of like quiet to herself for the most part. That or like if Taylor wanted to spend time with you, she just wanted to come and watch shows with you.
Yeah.
Like-
Very simple.
That was her quality time.
that is so funny.
Easy to please.
That's me. I've always been in my senior citizen era, I suppose.
I need to get in my senior citizen era. I'm still in my 20s, but I'm actually 30s era.
I love that for you. You're staying young.
My mind is, but not my body.
Would you say that you are liking your 30s more than your 20s?
I think my 30s feel more calm. Like I feel, but I think with any age you always get like panic that you're not doing enough or like that you're not where you should be. And I don't know if that ever goes away, to be honest. But I definitely feel a lot better about my 30s so far. But I'm only 1 year in. Wait, 30? 32? Wait,
You're basically 2 years in.
2 years, right?
Right?
You're
I've never
fixing to be
thought
2
about
years
that.
Have y'all ever heard... I saw this on TikTok, and so I think about this often now, but it sounds like duh, but like if you really sit and let the wheels turn, it feels crazy. But when you turn an age, you're not starting that year, that means you already finished the year. So like, I'm 26. I've already completed the 26. I'm technically 27, and like I'm working on the 27th year. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I will sit and let my mind
Which I want to say there's some
Yeah, I don't know if I can
cultures
think
that
about that.
consider you your age. Like, once you come out of the womb, you are that age.
Yeah.
So, like, if you came out at 9 months, you were 9 months.
Isn't that China?
I believe so.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be misquoted on that, but
I'll
I think
fact
it
check but I think
is.
it's China.
I think it is, but yeah, I've thought about that several times, so that's crazy. So I'm working on my 25th year.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird to think about.
Damn. So does that mean? I can't even think.
So
about
really,
that
you're
right
about to be 33.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. But that was, I wanted to get your opinion on that because I have heard a lot of people say your 30s is just like your 20s, but like a little
More
better.
stable.
I feel like there's more pressure. I feel like it's internal pressure though, like not external. And mostly, people are gonna get tired of me talking about like relationship shit. But I think I feel most pressured about like what we were talking about earlier, like kids and like I feel like I'm internally putting myself in that pressure period. But I think it's more like relationship pressure at this point. Like I have a job, I have a degree, I have a place to live, like I have money, like I'm fine in that aspect. It's just like the only thing that I'm missing is that part. And I think when you get older, even though I'm not like extremely old, it still kind of just like weighs on you even more now, I think, than when I was younger.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we've talked about this on previous episodes too, that it's really easy to like compare your timeline to other people's. And that's a hard like lesson to learn, is to not compare your timeline to other people's, but it's so easy to do.
But I see a lot of people on TikTok too, like talking about how like, oh, I'm 30 and I just moved back in with my parents, or I'm 30 and I just did this, or like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of people like in the same position. And once again, I think it's just old projections. And like you said, like people around you, like y'all are younger than me. Y'all are in committed relationships and stuff. And like, I think like that, like seeing that from like a lot of my cousins and family, and, but also realizing that times are changing, like I said earlier. And like, there's a lot of people also in my position that, I shouldn't feel as like pressured about, you know?
There definitely is. Like, I think there's a lot of people in a lot of positions that's like, you just get so used to looking at socials and stuff, and they're not posting the stuff that they don't want you to see or they don't want you to know. True. So, like, something that they may not think is, like, fun or positive about their life, you're not going to see that stuff.
I saw this thing on the internet, and I was like, if somebody posts, like, this long, loving post after not posting in a while,
Someone
you know,
cheated.
it's because they're either cheated or they got in a fight, and they're trying to make up for it. And I thought that was so true, because I've done that before.
Oh, talks about. No, that is true though. You can always like, you get to get.
Well, it's different between like, oh, I'm just sharing this picture, like, check this out, versus like, we've had our ups and downs.
Marriage is so hard.
Or like when they put the posts of like anniversary posts, and it's just shitting on them all the time, but I still love him.
He makes me want to off myself, but I still love him. That's my husband.
That's my man. I'm a stick by him.
Dude, that's so funny. That is so true though.
So I know we kind of just dived right in, and we didn't really get to know you at all before we started talking. We just dove right in with our fights. Actually, that's my bad. So do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself?
Do
you need me to
This is
specify
always
more?
so uncomfortable. Like, whenever you go into like a classroom or something, or like an introductory thing, tell us something interesting about
Icebreaker.
yourself.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
know
it like
what the
this.
hell is interesting about me.
Tell us 2 truths and a lie about your
That's
life.
a good one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's think. I feel like this is hard, actually, to come up with that on the spot.
Shit, I thought that'd be easier.
Okay, well let's start here. What did you go to school for?
I went to school for animal science, and I concentrated in animal production.
Okay.
So, animals that we eat for food.
She's a cowgirl.
And what made you want to do that?
I had always liked agriculture stuff, so like even when I was younger, I wanted to do like the 4-H, and I like to go to like the play days, so like mini rodeos for kids or whatever. And then the older I got, I was in our FFA in high school. I was the vice president. I liked to do livestock judging, and I liked to show animals and all of that. So, but that's not what I went to college for at first.
No, really? What was the first one?
I started as a business major.
Wow.
Wait, what?
I did.
How do I not remember this about your life?
It was short-lived. Like,
Okay,
first semester of college, I was in business math, and immediately decided this ain't gonna work.
But you, if I remember right, you graduated early.
I did. I graduated a year early.
Yeah.
I was, so the school we went to before we moved, I would say, in my opinion, it was a lot more advanced. Like, there was a lot more room to do different things because it was larger, and B, it was just, they had more funding. It was bigger, like, you had more opportunities to learn, and, like, the classes were more advanced. Mm-hmm. So when we moved, by the time I hit my senior year, I think I had, like, one class left that I could take. Because I started taking some high school classes when I was in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of ran out of stuff to take, so I'm not going to go to school. Because I already got out, even in my junior year, like 1 o'clock or something. So I was already leaving early to go do, like, the work program thing. And if I was only going to have, like, one class, I would have to fill everything with electives. That is such a waste of time. Like, I'd rather just be done.
Like, now that you're older, would you do the same thing again?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have moved out as fast. I probably would have stayed and worked a little bit longer until it would have been, like, my actual time frame to move out. Because I feel like I did put a lot of pressure on myself moving out 10 days after I turned 18. To the wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think so.
How was moving from a bigger high school to a smaller high school?
Taylor loved it. I hated it. Despised it.
Yeah.
Every second. I was actually stoked to get out of there. I think that influenced my decision too. Like, I hated that high school. Mm-hmm. It was hard to, like, adjust, in my opinion, because they had already, like, had their cliques and their friends and things. And so it was just weird to me because there wasn't as many opportunities to do things. It was harder to make friends, in my opinion. I just felt like I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb almost.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I feel like it would definitely be hard to go from a bigger to a smaller. Mm-hmm. I went from a bigger to a bigger when I moved to Austin, and that was interesting. So, but I just could not imagine going to a smaller one. It
didn't love it.
It's a smaller town, right? Like, what was y'all's graduating classes?
I want to say I graduated with like 45 to 48 or something.
I think I made the 40th person in my class.
Dang.
Yeah, and my class at the other school we went to, I think we were the largest one that they had, and so our graduating class was supposed to be like somewhere from like 700 to 800. Mm-hmm. So it was like way different to go from that amount to that amount.
Yeah, mine was 800. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it definitely was a big difference, but like you said earlier, I was a hermit, so it felt less scary.
I guess to me, I liked the bigger school. I just felt like there was more room to be like different or unique or apart from people versus like at a small school, it almost felt like you had to fit into a box or like people were not going to like you.
See, I felt like that at our big high school as well, though.
I just never felt like that.
We had different personalities, though. Yeah. So, I mean,
I liked to talk, and like I was kind of a little bit more outgoing than you were. Not that that's a bad thing. Like it takes all kinds.
For sure. But.
So like obviously you were very country
girl.
What are your music preferences? We're going back to basics here.
Oddly, not super specific. Like you will catch me doing like when so everybody will talk about like dad rock or like But I think of like 70s, 80s music when I think of like dad rock. And versus like the 90s.
Hair metal or like...
Yeah, kind of. Mainly because that's what our parents would have listened to like around that time. So that's more of like what I think of that as. But I also like the divorced dad rock. I like rap. Like I like country music. I'll really pretty much listen to anything.
I would agree. You'd have a pretty wide range.
I will listen to pretty much anything, I would say.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I don't know. When I think of you, I just think country. Like, just country. Especially, like, after going to your house, like, country.
You just think of a little hillbilly.
Mm-hmm. And then too, like the animal thing, I just like country. You know what I mean? When I think Shawnee, I think country.
What vibe do I give off?
Your vibe is like, what would I call it?
Girly grunge.
Yeah,
Okay,
honestly,
I'll
yeah.
take that.
I thought that's exactly.
I'll take it.
Wait, what's my vibe?
You have the grunge vibe too.
Yeah,
Because like you definitely have like an alternative like grungy style. I would say.
I used to be way more emo. I think I'm trying to get back into my emo roots. I feel like I need to go back. You know.
You're like a graduated scene kid.
Yeah. Well, they say like there's a pipeline from like emo to country, because like a lot of country music is like very, like emo-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely on that pipeline.
Yeah. You are.
For sure.
Zach Top's biggest fan.
Yeah, I will see him in concert. But no, that was a nice little segment of getting to know Shawnee.
Chandra.
I'll put little, like, you know, like little ting, whatever there.
Before we go, I've given you lots of nicknames throughout the years. What has been your favorite nickname and your nickname that you hate the most that I've given you?
I hate the most when you call me Sean. I've always hated that. And that's what you called me for the longest term, was Sean. And I hated that. And everybody would follow your footsteps. And they would start calling me Sean. And I'm like, my name's not fucking Sean. Stop calling me that. I'm not a boy.
That is so funny.
And then...
Even though... Anyway.
Okay, yes, I was very tomboyish. Okay, we'll just leave that there.
No, I was going to talk about how I tried to convince you when you were a little kid that you were a boy.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about that, actually. She had convinced me that I was born a boy and they cut my penis off at birth. And I believed it. She always tries to act so innocent. Oh, you were so mean. You're such a bitch. She convinced me that there was aliens under my bed. There was dead bodies in the attic up above my room.
Okay, actually, this is getting a little too far. I forgot bringing this up. My apologies, Miss Girl.
Anyways, I hated when you called me Sean.
Okay.
I could not stand that, and everybody would do it too. But I feel like there was a lot of people that just wouldn't bother to learn my name. Like, I got called Shandy, Shonda, Shauna all the time. That's not my fucking name. Don't call me that. I was more defensive about it when I was younger. Now I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever works. But,
That's funny.
I think my favorite one was when y'all read that sign that said Shonda Lachey. And y'all all started calling me Shonda Lachey. And you have stuck with that. Well, then you switched it to Chandra. So I don't actually know that I've heard you really call me my name in a significant amount of time. You just call me Chandra.
What do you call her?
Taylor usually. T, Taylor, Tay.
I always feel weird saying your name. Like, when I was texting earlier, sometimes I won't put your name in there because I don't know if I should call you Taylor or Tay.
I think as an adult, I really like Tay.
Okay. I used to call Brennan Brenda when you pissed me off.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
What do you mean? Like, what's my favorite nickname
At
you've
least,
given me?
yeah.
You haven't really given me many nicknames.
I've always called you my little sweet potato, or my sweet.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Shayla.
My Shayla.
Probably my sweet. It's my favorite. You haven't given me any ones that, like, I don't care for. Oh, no, wait. You call me by my middle name, but you say it wrong.
I do it on purpose because it aggravates you.
So my middle name is Shaylin, and she calls me Shallon, and that really pisses me off.
It's pissed her off for years, and I just won't let it go.
What about you, Jazz? Have you had, like, a bunch of nicknames, but you kind of go by your nickname?
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was like, it kind of sucks that I don't have nicknames. My only nickname is Jazz, and everybody calls me Jazz, which I like that. I don't like being called Jasmine.
Oops.
Well, no, I don't mind. Okay, well, let me rephrase that. I don't care if you call me Jasmine, but I do prefer to go by Jazz. I think I've had people call me Jess before just because of how my name is spelled. But like that's just.
Could you imagine if your name was
Jessica?
Jessica.
My middle name's Brooke.
Wait, what?
I actually did not know that.
It is such like the whitest like Brooke. Could you imagine?
That's very girly pop.
If I went by Brooke, like I don't feel like Brooke would fit me. Like
Brookie.
Brooke, yeah.
When I think of Brooke, I just think of the most basic white bitch I've ever seen.
That's what, like I was like one time I was like I'm gonna pretend to be somebody else. I'm just gonna start calling myself Brooke.
Brooke.
Yeah, you're not giving Brooke.
No,
I never knew your your middle name. I never asked you, but
if you were to have asked me to guess, I would have never guessed that.
What would you think my middle name was?
Nicole. Just because that was a very popular middle name, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like yours would definitely be like Lynn.
Lynn. I mean, pretty close. So. I'm cool with it.
What would
Do you want to tell everybody your middle name?
My middle name's Cheyenne.
Yeah, so our middle names are both a play off
There's
of
nothing
our
wrong with your
parents'
middle
names.
No, I feel the same way. Your reaction's valid.
It just threw me off. Like, y'all's middle names are unique.
Yeah, our grandma came up with them.
Oh, okay.
And they're a combination of both of our parents' names.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. I'll switch with you. I'll be Brooke.
I'll just omit the middle name. No, I don't mind my middle name. I think it makes me. It's a good conversation starter.
I can't believe I've known you for this long and I did not know that.
Yeah,
Never knew that.
I don't think I ever talk about my middle name very often.
There's one more secret I feel I have to share with you.
My middle name is actually Brooke. That is so funny. Well,
that's funny.
I think the camera's about to die.
Well, thank you for coming on. Who even asked? It's been a pleasure having you.
It's been nice to have some fresh voice, fresh faces on here. Oh, give it a second.
Someone's speeding off.
Bye, bitch. No, it's been nice to have you on. It's always nice to have somebody new on here. We're gonna try and get all our siblings, hopefully at some point on here. Hopefully eventually we'll have more mics and then we can have like 5 people on here and that would be nice.
That'd be so much fun.
But yeah, so this has been nice getting to know you. This is once again Shawnee, Taylor's sister, my cousin. And if you see her, out in the streets, ask her some cattle stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Real rancher.
She's a cowgirl. Her favorite artist is Lainey Wilson.
God. You did not have to bring that into the mix.
She doesn't like Lainey Wilson, so that just stuck with me. And now every time I see her and every time Lainey Wilson comes on, I just like to point it out. So
no, you'll put it on purpose.
I love Lainey Wilson. Okay,
it's not even that I just totally despise. I just don't like her. I don't like the sound of her music.
Yeah.
Anywho, before we get canceled, that's enough Lainey Wilson slander.
I was nice about it. I just said I don't like the sound of her music.
And that's okay.
Potato.
Yeah,
well, it has like a popish sound, and I just don't fuck with that.
And that's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep, it's been nice. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point. But for everybody out there, this has been Who Even Asked, and we appreciate your patronism.
Thank y'all for always tuning in.
Is that even a word?
Week.
Sorry. Patronism?
Patronism.
I think patronizing is a negative thing.
Okay.
But those are different.
Yeah, if that's not a word, I'll cut that out.
Anywho, thank y'all for always tuning in every single week. As always, make sure to go give us a like, follow, subscribe, 5 stars, all the things. We really appreciate it, and that helps us to keep doing what we're doing.
Yep.
And we hope you guys have an amazing week, and we will catch you fuckers next week.
Bye, guys.